In this video, we're going to catch up with major moves for a couple of popular foreign exchange pairs, pound US dollar and euro dollar, and the levels to watch if you're trading it in the days ahead. Hello, I'm David Jones. This is the weekly video I do with Capital.com, where we take a look at the euro and the pound. Last week was another big week for the pound. We saw it hit its lowest levels since September of last year. Any rallies were just getting sold into, and we saw the price just sell off almost day in, day out. However, towards the end of the week, we did see a recovery. Behind the falls last week, we had some disappointing UK data. The market is expecting an interest rate rise from the Bank of England in August, and some of that disappointing data did have throw a question mark over that. Will we still get the rate rise? I think we still will, but the worry was the Bank of England might change its mind, as it did back in May. And of course, the ongoing Brexit discussions are piling the pressure on as well. But what's interesting is how it's turned around. So I do think it is one of the major markets to watch this week. So let's take a look at the chart and the levels we should be keeping an eye on. So here's the long-term pound chart. I think what's interesting here is what we saw happening last week. We've been watching this 130 level for a long time now, and it's the lows from October last year. It did seem during early July, late June, early July, that the pound was making a base. But last week we slipped to the lowest levels since about September last year. Let's just zoom in on that. So we're still on the daily chart. Here's the move below 130. So the market traded as low as about 129.60, that sort of area, but it's bounced back really strongly. We do have bullish divergence. We've talked about this a bit in the past, where the market makes a low, but the RSI makes a higher low. We've got that going on. That can be a suggestion that the weakness is running out of steam, but we still have this trend in place. We still have this downtrend in place. Let's take a look on the hourly to pick up on that. So we can see the detail a bit better here, and you can see how really this market, the pound, needs to clear 133 to 133.50 at the very least to shake off this weakness. So I think it's going to be an interesting week. We've seen a sharp turnaround after it dropped below 130, but the trend is still down. It's a market that is still under pressure. Are we going to see further gains this week after the turnaround towards the end of last week? Let's just take it back to the dailies. So the levels to watch, the trend line here, 133, 133.50. If it starts to weaken again, do we see these old lows hold at 129.50? If we see that lost, we've got to start looking for a slide back to the lows from the summer of 2017, around about 128.00. So I think it's going to be another big week for the pound. So I think what we want to watch out for is if we see this market, pound US dollar, sell off again. Do we see those lows from last week, 129.50, 130, hold? And on the upside, that 133, 133.50 area, that's where the trend line's coming in. Now, let's take a look at the euro. There's no way of dressing this up. It's been a really boring couple of months for euro US dollar. It's still trapped in this sideways range, but later on this week, on Thursday, we've got the latest interest rate decision from the European Central Bank. No change to rates are expected. I think the broad expectation is for the European Central Bank to raise rates sometime in the summer of 2019. But maybe they're changing their mind. Maybe we'll find out a bit more from the press conference. Maybe that will inject some volatility. But let's have a quick look at that sideways trading range for euro dollar. So here's the euro US dollar chart. Nothing's changed. There's not really much extra to say that I haven't been saying in recent weeks. We are still trapped in this range that we've been in now for, 2 months. So on the upside, 118.50, strength towards here, the euro runs out of steam. But down here, whenever we see it dip below 116 towards the 115 level, the buyers come back in. And it's a big level from back here in October. So nothing's changed. We need a breakout. And at the moment, it's still very much trapped within this sideways range. So those are the levels. Down here, people are looking at previous lows will view it as a buying opportunity, and then looking to sell whenever it gets towards 118. Until we get a breakout, we've got really no real clue as to the next major move for euro US dollar. So as I say, it's been a pretty directionless couple of months for the euro, but let's see what happens Thursday lunchtime at that ECB decision. Do we see it maybe wake this market up one way or the other. We'll start wrapping things up there as usual. If you have any questions or comments or a different view, leave us a message in the comments down below. If you like the video, click on the thumbs up. And every Wednesday at 12:30, I do a live update from our YouTube channel where we take a look at the major markets. So euro, pound, gold, oil, stock market indices, and a couple of the cryptocurrencies as well. So to get automatically notified when we go live, make sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking on subscribe. And if you click the alarm bell notification, you get notified. And of course, whenever we upload new videos. We'll wrap things up for there. So as usual, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, I hope you have a good trading week.